All right, welcome to another fabulous and exciting, and actually really, I'm super excited for this episode of BarQuest. Cheese curds right on the dial. Look at that. Look at the service already. I'm joined today by the one and only Jake Prizant. What's going on? Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me, and also thank you for saying my name right.
You said it to me once, like croissant, and I always think of that every time.
Some people do it wrong, and it's like a hard thing to correct people.
It's a very cool looking and sounding last name. So
yeah, it makes me sound like a little more foreign than I am, I think.
Hell yeah. Sweet. Let's get into it. Where are we right now? What is the bar that you have taken us to, your favorite bar in Chicago?
We are at F.O'Mahoney's right now.
Sweet. F.O'Mahoney's. This is my first time here. We are, this is Boys Town? Wait, no. Lakeview East. Lakeview East.
Block away from Boys Town.
Right on.
Yeah.
Not too far from Annoyance.
Probably like a 15-minute walk.
Yeah. As well as Wrigleyville, too, notoriously. We are sipping on some hazy Lagunitas, right? Fresh off the draft. Cheers. Gonna be eating some curds as well. Let's dive right in. Thank you for doing this interview. We usually start this off with you just kind of telling the people at home a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and your kind of comedy trajectory to now.
Sure.
Blast away with it, man.
Let's get into it. I don't know if I feel there's a little camera setup we have here in the bar for listeners at home, but I feel the need to like kind of spike and look into it. So my name's Jake Prizant. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, in specifically Northbrook.
Okay.
And I really had a great time I grew up doing like musicals, and then in high school I started doing more plays, and then was in like my high school's comedy troupe, which I think was like the big first for it. High school comedy troupe, and we'd perform like. Oh man, the music turned off. I got embarrassed. We'd perform like for the assemblies for like the entire school. So it'd be like we'd be like doing sketches. I didn't know there were sketches back then, but we'd like do sketches about like current events that were going on in school, and like there's like 2,000 people would like gather in the gym and watch it. It was like, and to this date, like the biggest audience I've ever performed for. So I kind of started. I did like a little.
That wasn't nerve-wracking?
It was. I mean.
How many people are in your troupe?
There was like 10 of us.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know, I was just like loved it. I was like, this is the best.
Was it like sketch or improv?
Yeah, it was like full like narrative sketch show that was like lampooning whatever current events were going on at school.
Okay.
And it was like very rehearsed, and like we wrote the whole thing, and people loved it. But it was also kind of a thing of like, in that big of a room, you just say something that people understand. Like you say like the person's name, they go, like some senior who did something embarrassing, and I was like I was like a sophomore when I got onto it, which was like very young. So I started doing that, and then I did like improv in high school, did like some comedy sports stuff through the high school, and I was like, oh, I really like this, and was like good at it.
Sure.
And then I went to college in Boston at Emerson College.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yes, and I studied. I got a BFA in acting there. Awesome. And when I was there, I got into a sketch team called Jimmy's Traveling All-Stars.
Okay.
And that was like the beginning of like my writing everything. Yeah, and that was just like the best, because I tried out for a bunch of improv teams, didn't make any, and I was
going to ask if you did improv out there.
There was Emerson is like a freaky sort of like art school.
Okay.
So it's like. There was like 10 different. It was a small school, but there were 10 different comedy troupes, and like some of them sketch, some of them improv. I auditioned for a ton of them. Only got called back for this sketch group, and I was like, and it ended up being like a great thing because I do a ton of improv now. Fast forward, but like, but it was like ripped the Band-Aid off of writing sketch, and it was like the coolest thing to be a part of. So did that, and then all my buddies went to LA, some went to New York, and I was just like, I think I want to move back home, save some money for a second, and like just do a ton of improv class, and so I moved back here, and
best city for it.
The best city for it, and like P.S. like I had a way more fun 8 8 years of coming up than all my other friends did, you know, because like Chicago is truly the greatest place to like get good at comedy and have fun while you're doing it.
Where did you jump into first when you moved out here?
I
back here.
Immediately started taking class at Annoyance and IO at the same time.
Awesome.
Which was like a lot.
Yeah.
Which I actually don't really recommend doing that, but
I know a bunch of people that have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did all the levels there, and then
Was this when the pool was happening?
this was when the pool was happening, and
man.
it wrecked my life that I didn't get onto a pool team. I was like so
And it,
literally
doesn't
sad.
exist anymore.
It doesn't
right?
exist anymore.
Isn't that insane?
And I was so sad. I was like, what do you mean? I thought I was doing well in the shows or whatever, and I knew people who got on. I was like, I was so jealous and sad. And then, I did the Second City Conservatory, and that was, like, fine.
Yeah.
And I just, like, really was so
It's
butthurt.
so funny how many people... I moved here to do improv as well, and with the hope of doing conservatory, kind of building up to it.
Right.
And it's renowned as being, like, the spot for comedy. So much history out of there. Like, read the whole book, watched all the documentaries, all that stuff.
Yes.
Got all stoked about it.
Did you watch the documentary that was, like, about the conservatory?
No.
There's one on YouTube about, like... It's kind of amazing. Me and my class found it while we were going through it. It's, like, very funny. It's, like, these people taking this thing very seriously, and, like, it's just classes. Like, you pay for these classes. You know, and they're, like... You know, as if it's like America's Got Talent or something. It's like it's an amazing documentary about not even Second City, like the conservatory. It was awesome.
It's on YouTube. Okay,
I think so.
All right, I will link it. I'll find it. I'll link it for you guys, and I will watch it. But yeah, it was one of those things where the first couple classes were very magical because I think with the audition and with it being so notorious for that. This was also pre-pandemic too, but you meet some insanely talented people in those classes. 2019. I literally did 2 in-person classes and then COVID happened. Yeah. But I did 2 classes online on Zoom, and then it kind of felt like, all right, if I'm going to do it, I'll do it in person. But what I will say, I get that from a lot of people that they're like, the conservatory was fine. Yeah. But then there's always that follow-up of like, but I met so-and-so, or I met my people through it. So I would say, like, while it is a huge endeavor and it's super expensive these days, too, it was expensive back then, you meet some really awesome, committed comedy and insanely talented comedy people there. So, yeah, I just thought that was funny. Sorry, that was a little sidetrack on me.
Totally, please. Yeah, I met 2 of my best friends in the world from there. There you go. And it was just like, it was great.
That's awesome.
But yeah, post that, I just like got really, really involved at the Annoyance, and like I'm on a team called Missed Call. We do a brand new sketch show every week.
That was the first show. That was my introduction to you. It was coming to a Missed Call show.
Oh, hell yeah!
And seeing you guys perform.
Were we doing sketch?
No,
I
think at the time it was improv.
Yeah.
It was improv. That was where you were literally the format. And correct me if you should tell the format, but with you would receive a voicemail and then do improv based on it.
It was a poorly conceived improv form where we had to get voicemails before the show, which is a terrible idea.
Okay.
And then so people would leave voicemails, and
it was
then
just a line that anyone
it
could
was
call?
just a line anyone could call, and you could like do a voicemail, and no one knew what to do. It's like doing character or real things. And so we get these insane voicemails that were like impossible to hear while we're on stage too, and then that would like inspire our improv. And before the pandemic, we were doing that at like 7:30, we were doing that at like 9:30 on Sunday nights for like a long time.
Okay, yeah.
So anyone with a normal job like just could never come see it.
Yeah,
so it was like
a tough slot.
It was like a lot of improvisers would come, and it was like fun. But then after the pandemic, we started doing sketch and like writing a new sketch show every week, and that has become. We just did our 100th show.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
So it's like that was really meeting those people through going through Annoyance class, and then like doing that became like my artistic home in Chicago.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
and then let's see. So Missed Call. I know that you've done a lot of stuff at Annoyance. You're currently on Creamboy as well at IO.
I was finally allowed to be at IO after like not getting like I didn't get into the pool, and then I signed up to audition for Herald Teams 3 times. Like never got the opportunity to audition. I was like, what the fuck? And then, after the pandemic, got put on their new teams that they're not calling Herald teams. They're calling Resco teams.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
which is because I guess they don't want to do the Herald, which is fine. It's a hard and bad to do anyway, but it's technically a Herald. None of the other teams were doing a Herald anyway before that. But it's called Creamboy, and I love them. They're very funny, and I got
to see you guys perform. It was awesome. I also went to one of the shows. I wish I would have made it to more, but the what was the name of it? It was with you and Hannah.
Play practice.
Yeah. I went to that, and it was hysterical.
Thank you. It was the coolest variety show that nobody ever came to.
I remember you saying that, I think, when we were there, but I was dying laughing, and I ate it up and thought it was hysterical. Also, I want to touch on, too, this lends itself to everything you just said, but you do very funny... You're a big social media presence, too.
Thank you.
Yeah, massive on TikTok.
Yes.
That was kind of, I got introduced to you through improv and then started seeing your videos online and just cracking up, sharing them with, like, friends and family. And then you've been doing these, like, awesome, like, short films lately.
Yeah.
That I think are some of the funniest things I've ever seen. With, is it John?
John Plester is the filmmaker who I've, like, in a very, like, everything I've ever dreamed of way. Like, he saw me at a show and he was like, hey, he didn't say this, but it was like, I'm a super talented filmmaker and I want someone to, like, be in my thing who I can, like, write with. And he's so funny. He writes for the like Clickhole and, like, The Onion and, like, and it was just, so I started making, like, longer things with him because I got a little frustrated with, like, just TikTok as a whole and, like, the limitation of what I could do on my own. And so partnering with him was, like, the greatest thing ever. Of just, like, we shot one of them, like, right outside this bar that we're at right now. Just it's called Zona. If you want to check it out on Vimeo, it's on my Instagram page. But I was gonna say,
it's so good. The one you did with Hannah too. Where we should start a band. Yeah. That one, I love both of them, but the Zona one, I feel like I've shown just so many people, and everybody cracks up. And, like, now it's like an inside joke with my dad and with, like, one of my good friends. We say, whenever we go to voicemail, it's Brother Man.
Oh, that's so fucking nice. That's super nice, dude.
It's awesome.
That's super sweet to hear. Yeah. I'm proud of that.
I love it. Please check it out if you get the chance. Okay. All right. We're doing good on time. I also want to touch on you crushing your Just for Laughs audition.
Thank you.
Did you ever get the chance to go perform out there?
No, they said no. Did you see it?
Ridiculous.
This year or last year?
Last year.
I've done 2 now.
Nice.
And that all just is like a culmination of, like, solo work I've been working on, and Just for Laughs has been a dream for a minute. And I felt like so good about what I did this year. It was like, thank you. And it just didn't, I don't know how that works over there. I think I need a better a manager or something, or I don't know, something to, like, push me across the. But thanks, that means a lot. I really worked.
It was awesome. They were doing them at Annoyance, and man, I think they did like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And everybody that they put on there was so insanely talented. It was great.
Thank you.
Love it. And then now I want to know, because I don't know a lot about this. This is like, I've heard this from other people.
Okay.
This is the rumor on the street.
Yes.
You auditioned for SNL.
Well, yes.
Yes.
I got the opportunity to, so, like, every year, except for this year because there's, like, a big writer's strike going on. I don't know if anyone knows about that. But usually they come through Chicago, and the Annoyance and I.O. will, like, put up a showcase. Last year, basically, like, the stuff I was doing for JFL, to put together some solo stuff and got on the Annoyance showcase. And then some SNL producers saw it, and they really liked me, and I got flown out to New York to do another showcase in New York with, like, people I've, like, looked up to forever.
Really?
And, like, it was just so cool to, first of all, be on that lineup, and then it's like, like Lorne Michaels and, like, Colin Jost and Michael Che and, like, all the writers are, like, there watching.
Oh my God.
And so that was really cool, just to, like, I don't know, in the comedy scene, like, growing up. Before every show, it'd be like, oh, you better do good. Like Lorne Michaels is in the audience.
I was gonna say, how's your like stress level, nerve level with that?
It's like. I just was so excited. It's like, I don't know, like coming from Chicago and like doing shows where no one's watching for like years.
Yeah.
It's like
I've been watching you grind out your solo stuff like on some of my shows at Crushes, like all over town for a while, and your commitment to it regardless of the size of the crowd is always there. So you've definitely exercised that muscle for a really long time. That's awesome that you were able to just go and like be comfortable and I don't know, have fun with it. Yeah.
By the way, going back, the first show I ever did solo stuff on was Crushes.
Oh, nice.
Right when the pandemic was starting to ease up and things were coming back. There was no improv going on, so it was just like these stand-up shows, and I was like, SNL's always been a dream. Like I should figure out how to do this, and I got, it's at a live one. If you haven't been at a live one, it's the best. And Crush is an amazing show.
We actually featured on a previous episode with Sam Otter, so shout out.
So,
if you haven't watched it, check it out.
Sam Otter, R.I.P., is in New York now. It's a good, no longer a Chicago boy, but he used to run like one of the best shows in the city for sure. And I wrote a set. I got him to book me on that show, and I just like wrote a set that day, and like a lot of stuff I did in that initial set the first time made it into my like SNL audition that year. Yeah.
Oh man.
It was just stuff I just like forced myself to write, and then I worked on it all year, and some of it like actually made it in. So.
That's incredible.
So yeah, and then spoiler alert, I didn't get hired.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how was the reaction to your set there? How did it go?
I like murdered in a way that was like scary. It was a sold out like 200 person. It was at a comedy club called Comic Strip Live.
Okay.
And I was a little nervous because it was like definitely a stand up venue.
Sure.
But I went late enough in the lineup, and my stuff was so different. I like crushed. So for a second, I was like, oh my god, am I gonna go on to the next step? Which like the next step is going to 30 Rock and like doing the test on the stage. I didn't get there, but I did, the showcase, and from that I got like a new agent, and then I got I got cast in this like TV show that's gonna happen at some point. And
sweet, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and so it led to a lot of cool things.
Okay.
Look out for once the strike is over. Look out for Deli Boys on Hulu.
Deli Boys.
Yeah, that'll be. I'm excited about that. But But yeah, and then I got. Thank you so much. And then I got very surprisingly got to fly out again for a showcase this year.
Nice.
And did a showcase in L.A. Similar thing where it's just like such an honor to be flown out and do it. And then again, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah. But
did anything lead from that one, or?
From that one, not yet.
It
was last weekend, so it's like it's still quite new.
Okay, that's great. Hell yeah, man. Well, that's awesome that you're going out to New York and LA doing these showcases, man. Well deserved. That's sweet.
Thank you.
Sweet. Okay, so let's get into the bar, man. We've talked about you for a hot minute.
Yes.
So, tell me about this bar. Was it
F.O'Mahoney?
F.O'Mahoney's.
Some people will call it like "fuck off Mahoney's."
Okay.
But it's kind of a misnomer because it's very welcoming.
Yeah.
It's not like like the great staff, like very attentive. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like, it's not a dive bar, but it's just like homey.
It is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can you describe like the aesthetic?
I think it's like.
Do you need another one?
I'll do one more. Yeah, thank you.
I
think it's kitschy. It's cute. It's like no frills, and the cheese curds are amazing.
Yeah. Very good.
And like low key, the food is good.
Nice.
This is my go-to. Like, I've brought multiple people here. P.S. I live like right down the street, so it's like a little. But I brought like my buddy from L.A. was in town, and he was going through like a really bad breakup, and we came here, and it was like a nice time. Like my brother just graduated college and was feeling kind of lost or whatever. We came here, we had a wonderful time.
Nice.
My roommate, was going through some stuff with her family. We came here. We just like, it's just like a place.
Safe.
Yeah, and it's like a place I come with like one person, like exactly like what we're doing, and it's just like a nice like we get to talk one-on-one with each other because it's not too rowdy. It's not whatever. But that's what I truly love about this place. It's like
it's intimate.
Yeah, it's intimate.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you've described already some memories from here.
Yes.
I don't know, any other ones that you want to dwell on or lament on?
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know about lament.
I know, they guys all sound like sad ones, but it sounded like you turned it around, had a fun time.
To lament, there was my girlfriend right now. There was a moment where for like 2 weeks we were sort of broken up.
Okay.
And we were just like, we're both very busy. Maybe we work better as friends, whatever. She asked, I was going to help her like learn how to edit something. And so I had her come here.
Okay.
And it was like a very like, I don't know, like very emotionally charged, sort of like, okay, we're just friends, whatever moment here. And we sat over there, and I taught her how to edit this thing. It was like really nice and quite wholesome.
Yeah.
And then a week later, we were back together, and then we've been dating for like 9 months, and it's been going very well. Yeah.
So if you're ever in distress or
If you ever get friend zoned, come to F.O'Mahoney's and make it happen.
friend zone, broken up with, any sadness, come here and all wounds will be healed. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. I love it. With the curds and the hazy
it's
beer.
the way.
I love it. Awesome, man. Dude, we're doing great on time. This is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
I love that everything comes together on these podcasts. Okay, so where you're at right now, obviously you have a show that's going to be coming out. That's awesome.
Yes.
What are some what are some things you're working on right now, and what are some kind of long-term goals or things that you'd like to accomplish in comedy or in general?
Right now, I'm working on in improv, like being good at improv and not just being funny.
Okay.
Like I've been here since 2017, and I think like because of all the solo work I've been doing, I've been scratching the itch of being like, okay, I can like be wacko guy and be whatever. So I'm trying. It's going okay, but just being like, what if I was just like a good scene partner and like acted well and like, because I've realized, all right, I can get a laugh. Not to toot my own horn, but like anytime I want, like I can, so
Very funny at improv. Very funny.
Thank you very much. So like now what's it like to try to do a deeper improv show and try to go further with that? That's what I'm excited about. That's what I'm excited about right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you ever do a solo show in the past?
I've never done a solo show, but at the end of the month here on the 21st, I'm doing 30 minutes shared with Trent James, who's a awesome magician comedian.
Okay.
We're sharing an hour, and I'm doing 30 minutes of solo stuff at the Color Club on the 21st.
Oh, that's huge. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So definitely check that out for sure.
And check it out, and it's going to happen, and I'm going to figure out what it is. And I'm literally pretty stressed about it, because I'm like, what I don't want it to be is just a bunch of characters. Sure. I want to figure out a way to house it in something like a show. Make it a solo show that's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Make it like contained in some way.
I feel like you would kick ass at a solo show because you're very good at characters, but you're also really good at improv, at riffing, all of it. What was that show that you were doing multiple different characters on? It looked absolutely wild. It was kind of like a live stream show.
It's probably Playground Social.
Yes. Yeah.
So they do a show. It's my buddies that I met at the Annoyance. Two of them are on Miss Call with me, and they just happen to run like a production company from their like huge space they live in.
It's massive.
It's massive. Follow
Yeah.
Playground Social on Instagram. They're doing some literally insanely ambitious stuff. But they started doing this live party hotline show, so they have people come in and host like a call-in party, and I just get to play insane characters, and they have like 5 different cameras going and like all this shit. It was so fun.
Those clips was my introduction to it. Cracked me the fuck up like that, and I feel like you could incorporate that into something too, or any of those characters. Oh man, I had something else and I lost it. Let's plug stuff that you're doing, and then I'll probably come back to it and remember it.
Okay. Please follow me on Instagram
Yes.
at Jake_Prizant.
I remember what it was. you're a prolific yo-yoer and balloon artist.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you want to talk about that or any other like crazy skills that you have up your sleeves that the people should know about.
I can juggle. I can do Diablo, which is like in some circles called like a Chinese yo-yo. I don't know. It's like the two sticks with the string. It's like two sticks and a string, and then like a spinning thing.
I've seen that.
I can do devil sticks, which is like the two sticks and then the longer one. I can unicycle a little.
Wow.
And I'm no longer am. At one point I was a sponsored fingerboarder.
I was going to say, your tech deck skills.
Yeah, for the people who aren't... tech deck is the popular term, but those are like plastic toys.
Oh.
Fingerboards are handmade wooden skateboards with like metal trucks and like urethane wheels and like everything. They're so expensive, and I spent so much money on them for like 3 years and just being obsessed with skating on my desk with my stupid little fingers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, sorry to interrupt your plugs. Follow him on Instagram.
Please. Follow me on Instagram. See Miss Call at the Annoyance on Fridays at 8 o'clock. New sketch show every single week.
Yeah, incredible.
And then check out Creamboy at I.O. We rotate, but you'll find us.
Okay.
We're around. Yeah.
I'll also, whenever this episode drops, I'll get the down low on whatever you're working on at the time. I'll plug it. I've already plugged it at the beginning of this episode, so you guys have already heard it. But yeah, check out Jake, support him, and I'm so excited to see what else is going to become of you, man. Like I feel like you're on the up and up. It's going to be rad.
Thank you.
I'm very excited to have met you, to continue to see you perform and make people laugh. You're like kind of all over the place, all these different medias that you're doing. It's really rad, man. So, hell yeah. And come check out F.O'Mahoney's. It is the intimate spot. The Kurds deliver, and if your heart is broken, come here and everything will be right. And on that note, cheers. This has been BarQuest. Thank you, Jake, for being on.
Of course,
Thanks
my
for
pleasure.
tuning in, guys.